Good afternoon and welcome to Guiseley AFC Radio. We're here for the Vanarama Conference North match for the Lions as they take on Barrow here at the Furnace Building Society Stadium. I'm Colin Robertson. Alongside me for today's match commentary is Adie Towers, Chief Exec, Chief Bottle Washer, all the things you care to name. Will be giving his expert views throughout the afternoon as we look forward to what is going to be a really tough tie here at Barrow, isn't it, Adie?
It's about as tough as it comes, really. I mean, played 7-1, 7 at home. Very, very strong. I mean, as we were saying a few minutes ago, when you go through their lineup, they're all players who performed either at Conference, Prem or Football League level. They're all big, strong, what you describe as decent footballers. He's got no particular prima donnas, and Darren Edmondson's got them playing in a way that he wants them to play. So no, it'll be a fearsome task today.
Well, let's just go through those two teams before we discuss any further. The Barrow team sheet today with Tony McMillan in goal, Andrew Burns, Andy McWilliams, Paddy Lacey, Danny Livesey, Simon Grand, Isaac Reed, Alex Ray Harvey, Jason Walker, Andy Cook and Johnny Gorman. On the bench for them, Andy Owens, James Ellison, Liam Willis, Anthony Wilson and Niall Cowperthwaite, and some formidable firepower in that squad. Obviously Anthony Wilson returning from injury on the bench today, but Jason Walker, he's been the main one, hasn't he, that caught the eye.
Jason Walker's scored a lot of goals and he's got a good pedigree. Also Andy Cook as well. So no, it's if you look at Isaac Reed, good pedigree, Alex Ray Harvey, good pedigree, and John Gorman, recent signing, tremendous signing for them.
Well, let's not just big up them. Let's look at ourselves. Stephen Drench in goal today. Ryan Tilson, Ben Parker, who's captain again. Andy Holdsworth, Jake Lawler. Danny Lowe, Wayne Brooksby. Danny Boschel, Ollie Johnson, Nicky Boschel and Gavin Rothery. On the bench, Jake Skelton, Danny Forrest, Jack Stockdale, Alex Johnson and Steve Dickinson. Obviously the big loss this afternoon. Two losses, of course. We know Danny Ellis is struggling and won't be back in the short term. But Adam Boys, that's a big miss for us this afternoon, and certainly it's a chance to come back here and make a mark.
And as we all know, I mean, the thing that endears Boise not just to fans but to managers as well, he's wonderfully honest footballer who puts a great shift in all the time. But it was noticeable last week, I think, at Grimsby, that his injury was hampering him to such an extent that for him to continue playing through it was probably going to do him harm. So although clearly he is a big miss, I think if we weren't careful we could have finished up having him missing for several games. I mean, Danny Ellis is making good progress and it's looking more positive than it was even middle of this week, so we hope to have him back fairly soon, and equally Boise we hope to have back fairly soon as well. I suppose the good news is that Alex Johnson put a decent half in at Selby Town on Tuesday night, and I'm sure he will feature to some extent today, so that's good news.
Yeah, great to see him back on the field of play on Tuesday night. Obviously we went out of the West Riding County Cup. I'm sure that didn't cause too much upset behind the scenes at the club, but last weekend, great disappointing, isn't it, to go out in the fourth round qualifying of the FA Cup, but what could you expect against a very formidable Grimsby Town side? Yeah,
I mean, I have to say that, as was said, I think at the stage of the draw, the hardest draw you could have got would either have been Grimsby or Wrexham or Halifax. And we got Grimsby. And I have to say that I was very impressed with Grimsby last week. I thought they were very big and powerful. In fairness, I didn't think we did ourselves justice. I think Mark was disappointed by the quality of pass, the weight of pass, and we very rarely threatened them. I think the only as we were saying earlier, as long as it was 0-0, there was a chance we just might, break away. But in fairness, Grimsby looked very, very strong, and I imagine they're going to be there or thereabouts the end of the season.
Well, I spoke to Matt Bauer after the game at Blundell Park, and here's what he had to say. Joined now by Matt Bauer after the 3-0 defeat to Grimsby Town in the FA Cup. Mark, it was always going to be a difficult task this afternoon. After the first goal went in, it got harder. What's your reflections on that game?
Yeah, it was a difficult game, full stop. Really, I thought in the first half we defended quite well, looked pretty solid. They didn't really have too many clear-cut chances. Maybe one header that they could have done better with. But apart from that, we looked solid in our shape and created a chance early on for Boise. But we're disappointed with the way we passed the ball. I think we could have been so much better. Simple passes going astray, balls bobbling under people's feet. That's the big disappointment today. I thought we worked hard. I felt once later on in the game their fitness tells and we're trying to chase the game and chase goals, we get picked off and it looks a bit ragged. But the main thing today is that we didn't do well enough when we had the ball. We saw that when we strung a few passes together, created great move to create Ollie Johnson a chance later on. Danny Forrest gets in behind. We've won a few decent patterns of play later on in the second half, but I can't really say that anything other than it was our poor play in the attacking third of the field, which led to us having to do an awful lot of defending. And in the end, with the quality they've got, they managed to fashion a chance and put it away. And then it was very difficult from that point forward.
You also had the blow that Adam Boys had to go off just before their opening goal with an injury. That must have been another real difficult situation.
Yeah, obviously, Boise, he's a big part of our team, and you could see him struggling with the ankle the start of the second half. Probably weren't fully fit, in the first half as well. So, it's difficult for us. We've got our two main centre forwards really out in Boise and AJ now, and hopefully AJ can get some game time under his belt this week. But it's going to be 1 or 2 games more or a few more weeks before he's going to be up to full speed. And we've got our 2 centre halves out in Danny Hall and Danny Ellis, big misses for us. But to be fair, I thought Danny Lowe and Jake Lowe were probably our 2 best players today. I thought they defended well and stood up to what they threw at as well. But take 2 probably main centre halves out your team and your 2 main centre forwards, it's going to be difficult coming to probably the biggest club in the conference on a real good run themselves. Just a shame we couldn't hold out for a bit longer. I think if we'd have done that, maybe they'd have become more frustrated. But once they got in front, it opened us up a little bit, and they picked us off and did that really ruthlessly, and credit to them for that.
Was there any point when you thought we might sneak this? Just after the break, we had a great chance that just couldn't force over from the corner.
Yeah, we had a little. I thought we started the second half quite well actually, and then. We always felt we had a chance of coming here and getting a result without a doubt. You ride your luck a little bit when you come to a team from a higher level, but we'd had as good chances as they'd had, although they probably had more of the ball up until their first goal. I can't fault the lads for effort and work rate. You look a bit raggy, like I say, when you're a couple of goals behind and they're breaking on you, but the lads stuck at it, they worked hard, just disappointed. I think all the players in there are disappointed with the quality that we've shown today on the ball.
The big games come thick and fast, of course. County Cup midweek, but then after that, a hard trip away to Barrow.
Yeah, it's probably the most difficult game of the season, really, from a league point of view. I think Barrow are going to be right up there come the end of the season. Not sure how they've gone on today, but they've had a decent run of late, and the home form is as good as anyone else in the league. So, really difficult game, but a perfect opportunity to bounce back from this. Because the lads are disappointed with the performance, and will be wanting to put it right. Because although we've probably not many people expected us to come here and win, the lads expected to come here and perform better than they did on the ball.
As Mark Bauer speaking to me after the defeat to Grimsby Town last Saturday, Guys' first defeat away this season came in the FA Cup, so it means that we retain our unbeaten away record. Barrow, of course, 7 wins out of 7 in the league here at the Furness Building Society Stadium, so that's a pretty formidable record itself to face up to this afternoon. But they're not completely unbeatable. They've lost twice this season, 2-1 at Bradford Park Avenue, and on the opening day against Boston United, as well as that defeat in the FA Cup for them in the second qualifying round at home to a very lowly side in Runcorn Town. So there is a glimmer of hope. If we're painting too pessimistic a picture about this game, there is a real possibility that Guys can get something here.
I think if we're about it, Mark's. I was down in the dressing room earlier, and Mark, was very clear what he wanted out of the players. I think, if I'm honest, what we need today is what we didn't get last week. Is we need a shift out of everybody. We need everybody to believe in it. We need the influential players to do what they do, but we need the forward players. I mean, we've got some, Gav Rothery, Nicky Boschel, Ollie Johnson, Wayne Brooksby, all very tricky forward players. And if we can get them on it, there'll be a handful for anybody. So, but it's a matter about us doing our jobs, really.
Well, the 2 teams are now out on the pitch. They've come out. Guys are going to be playing in their all-yellow away strip. Barrow, of course, in white with blue sleeves and blue shorts and white socks. just to go through those two teams once again, in case you've missed them. For the Lions, it's Stephen Drench in goal today, Ryan Toulson and Ben Parker, the captain, Andy Holdsworth, Jake Lawler, Danny Lowe, Wayne Brooksby, Danny Boschel, Ollie Johnson, Nicky Boschel and Gavin Rothery. Of course, no Adam Boyes, missing through injury, as is Danny Ellis. Jake Skelton's on the bench, Danny Forrest, Jack Stockdill and Alex Johnson back on the bench, as he was last Saturday for the trip to Grimsby Town, and played midweek as he continues to make his recovery back in towards full first team action, and greatly welcomed he will be at the moment, given the current striking issues that we have with Adam Boyes being missing. Tony McMillan in goal for Barrow, Andrew Burns, Andy McWilliams, Paddy Lacey, Danny Livesey, Simon Grant, Isaac Reed, Alex Ray Harvey, Jason Walker, Andy Cook and Johnny Gorman, the starting 11 for the Bluebirds. Andy Owens, James Ellison, Liam Willis, Anthony Wilson and Niall Cowperthwaite also on the bench, as the referee today, Mr. Marsden, and the two captains, Ben Parker for Guiseley and Simon Grant for Barrow, just shake hands. It's a blustery and rain-swept stadium here this afternoon. We made our way through glorious weather through the Yorkshire Dales and past the Lake District, and as soon as we arrived here at Barrow, the rain came down, the wind swept up, and it all started to feel rather ominous.
It's just Barrow on a Saturday, Colin.
We've not had a great outing here in the past. Defeated last season, of course, 1-0 by 10-man Barrow. And the season before that, defeated in the FA Cup replay on a Tuesday night, right at the death. Just it looked like we might snatch something against then Conference Premier side Barrow. And we're away with Barrow kicking off, shooting from left to right as we watch it here in the press box. We're nicely enclosed in a glass structure that keeps us safe from the elements but away from the crowd. And there's a good crowd here, even if you don't quite hear all of them. This afternoon, guys, you have a throw-in inside their own half.
Yeah, it certainly looks very healthy. There's probably 13 or 1400 here, and you can see how much interest has been created by the good run that they've had.
Boschel battling inside the centre circle to try and win the ball back, but now Barrow come down the right-hand side. Andrew Burns up from right back, delivers the cross into the area. It's dealt with well by Jake Lawler, heads away, and Gavin Rothery. Sorry, Adie, Gavin Rothery just gets in the way of the clearance, but as Adie rightly says, the ball swirling around as guys try to clear the lines.
The being out on the pitch earlier, the wind and the rain is sort of diagonal from the back of where we sat, from the sort of southwest, and so very tricky conditions indeed. I must say though, the pitch is in tremendous condition compared to how it's been on previous visits.
Just to remind you, we greatly appreciate your tweets if you have any, just to let us know we're technically working. We are at Guiseley Radio, and any feedback you have is super. And we got loads of it last week, and it was really helpful as we had a few gremlins. Guiseley clearing the lines at the moment as Barrow have the ball inside the Lions' half. It's up to the halfway now with Nicky Boschel. He lays it square to Danny, and it's out to the right-hand side where Ryan Toulson takes it over the halfway line and gives it to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby's touch is a little loose, and it gives a chance here now for Ray Harvey to come away with the ball. And Harvey now lays it out to the left-hand side, and it's an overhit pass past McWilliams and out for a goal kick.
That level of carelessness from Wayne just won't do on a day like this. The first touch has got to be good. And in fairness, I mean, in recent weeks, Nicky Boschel's been criticised, but just before that, his first touch was excellent, his layoff was excellent. So, we just need to be all in the same place in terms of quality today, really.
You can see the flag just opposite us, the Vanarama Conference North flag, of course, the sponsors. And it is really showing the direction of the breeze right across field towards the Barrow goal. Guys, they have the ball here with Ben Parker, and he takes a loose touch, almost gives Isaac Reed a chance to capitalise. And eventually Barrow do recover the ball and send it forward up towards Andy Cook. Appears to control a little bit with his arms in the way he took it down, and Danny Boschel protests. Referee ignores it, and Barrow have a throw nonetheless inside the Guiseley half. Burns takes it and gives it to Jason Walker, who's the main goal-scoring threat here. But guys, get it clear and up towards Ollie Johnson on the halfway line, but still the direction of play all in Barrow's favour at the early stages of this game. Long now towards Nicky Boschel and flicked back by Simon Grand, the captain, to give Tony McMillan one of his very first touches of this game. 3 minutes in.
We worked hard to recover the ball, though, there, didn't we? So, I mean, at least the impression is...
Lovely ball in there from Reed to find Walker on the edge of the area, just as Adie was about to summarise there, and almost gave Jason Walker a clean through opportunity on goal, but just a little bit unable to control the ball. Guys, now come away with it here with Brooksby towards Ollie Johnson. Ollie Johnson helps it now to the right-hand side, and there's a very strange offside flag against Rothery on the right flank. I thought that was rather harsh. He looked in line from where we stood, but free kick nonetheless to Barrow.
Yes, he certainly looked to be onside there, but I mean, certainly the movement there was good again, and I thought Ollie sort of, his pass looked perfect to me, but...
Ollie Johnson obviously having to plough the lone furrow. Different kind of player to Adam Boyes, isn't he? And be interesting to see how he can stand up to the intense work rate that's involved in that position and that role.
I mean, as we all know, he's got tremendously, gifted football, and he's got very quick feet. I mean, sometimes you might argue that he doesn't always make the best choice or hold the ball up as well as he might, but he has real quality. So we'll just see. And it's also an unknown quantity. I mean, they might have been expecting something else in truth. So it may well be that the unknown quantity that Ollie brings might well unsettle him at the back.
Lawler now sends it long, looking for Ollie Johnson. It's cut out by Grand. Only as far as Brooksby, now to Andy Holdsworth, back in holding midfield position. And looks like there's a free kick to Guiseley, but it's taken quickly by Brooksby. Actually, Danny Boschel recovers it, gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery into the feet of Nicky Boschel. He takes a sort of half shot and it bounces off the crossbar. And it was a snapshot from the edge of the 18-yard box, taken with the left foot. And Tony McMillan looks unsighted, and the ball actually comes off the top of the crossbar and behind for a Barrow goal kick.
I thought some excellent quick thinking there. Initially, it looked like the free kick had been taken too quickly, but then recovering the ball and then getting the shot away. So, yes, he certainly, had that been a foot lower, there was no way that he was getting near that, was there?
Oh, it's a promising start, that, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and we've looked bright as well. I think the problem is with the conditions that it's, you always worry it'll be a mistake that that leads to something. But we've looked bright so far.
Last couple of minutes, guys, have certainly had the foot on the ball and been on the front foot. Clearance from McMillan up towards Cook, but Danny Boschel is in front of him to clear, and then Ben Parker attempts to complete the clearance from left back and earns Guiseley a throw-in inside their own half.
He was clever there to actually get a throw-in out of that, wasn't he? Because his touch was poor, but managed to milk the throw-in, which I thought was the best we're going to get in the circumstances.
Toulson now with the ball for Guiseley at right back, sends it to Stephen Drench. Cook chases down the Guiseley goalkeeper, but Drench is too cool to be ruffled by that. Lays the ball into Jake Lawler. Guiseley now in possession of the ball in the halfway line. Ben Parker sets off on a little run over into Barrow territory, gives the ball to Brooksby, continues with his run as Parker. Ollie Johnson now, 20 yards from goal, lays it to the left-hand side. Gavin Rothery towards the touchline, into Boschel. Boschel crosses up towards Ben Parker, who'd continued and was on the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's headed behind, and Guiseley have the first corner of the game.
It's interesting as well, isn't it? Because you've got different options. There's no point in pumping a long ball up to Ollie Johnson because he won't do that boys hold up. So we're perhaps a little bit more to feet, a little bit sharper. So far it's been quite impressive.
So Guiseley with a corner now, as they will take this one from the left-hand side as they attack the Barrow goal. Brooksby steps across to take it. As Nicky Boschel looking to take it short. Guiseley have 3 players in the area looking, including Ben Parker. The ball's whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked on by Danny Lowe, and behind for a goal kick. But again, another promising move from Guiseley.
I think not unreasonably there, Danny Lowe's complaining that the ball was driven at him. It's almost impossible to get an angle on a header when the ball's driven like that. So Wayne just needs to think about that a little bit more, I think.
But again, a good start from the Lions as they press early on in this game. 0-0 if you're just joining us. We will try and keep you up to date with all of the other scores in the Vanarama Conference North. We have a ban on Premiership scores that's been imposed by our followers. because we don't want to spoil match of the day, would you believe, Adie? So Ollie Johnson now on the ball here for Guiseley as they come forward again. Ollie Johnson into the area. He's got 3 or 4 around him. Gets the ball across the face of goal. The goalkeeper's palmed it. It's down here to Nicky Boschel. He lobs it in towards the goal, and it's palmed over again by Tony McMillan. What a super run there from Ollie Johnson. McMillan with the first block. It found Nicky Boschel at the back post. He tried to loft it over the defenders in his way in the goal, and McMillan was on hand just to palm it over the crossbar. Corner's taken quickly now. Guiseley still on the front foot here. Brooksby into the area towards Ben Parker. Parker tries to turn past one. He's got 4 players around him now. Lays it back here to Nicky Boschel. The cross into the area up towards Wayne Brooksby, headed away. Now Parker in the area wins the header, and Barrow eventually clear their lines, and Guiseley recover the ball with Danny Lowe. Gives it to Ryan Toulson. Toulson sends it forward, and it's going to go beyond everyone, and Guiseley will have to concede the goal kick after Simon Grand just lets that one go out of play.
Some good football, people taking responsibility as well, you know, not making the easy pass, actually running with the ball at defenders, which Ollie Johnson so far looked very impressive. And I have to say the lob from Nicky Boschel was clever as well.
Yeah, it was a really good execution, wasn't it? It was heading in underneath the crossbar, but Millen was live to the danger. Managed to just palm it over. Now the ball here with Brooksby on the halfway line. Gives it to Rothery. Rothery surges forward again. Gives the ball to the right-hand side. Ollie Johnson chasing. Collects it right up at the corner flag. Cuts it infield. Gavin Rothery goes to take it away from the goalkeeper, who's coming out of his area to collect. Rothery inside the 6-yard box. Back to Nicky Boschel. Look back. Flick towards Ollie Johnson. His shot is blocked and it's gone over. And again, Guiseley have had a great opportunity to take the lead. Denied by last-ditch defending, and it's another corner to the Lions.
Should have been in front there, really. I thought that Ollie Johnson's finish lacked conviction there. It just wanted the foot put right through it, didn't it?
Guiseley with the corner on the right-hand side.
Our running is causing them tremendous problems, isn't it? Running with the ball is causing them problems.
Gavin Rothery just had space, didn't he? And when he gave the ball to Ollie Johnson, he really worked with it. The corner whipped in again, up beyond Jake Lawler. Up in the air this time, and the goalkeeper can't claim. Referee doesn't give a free kick. The ball went loose, but he recovered at the second attempt. And Guiseley have seen another opportunity pass by. And Barrow now look to counter-attack here with Andrew Burns over the halfway line.
Encouraging start, but I think against a team like this, if we get a chance, you're going to have to put one away, aren't we?
3 good chances early doors in this game for Guiseley, and now Barrow look to respond themselves. Andy Holdsworth, though, does well to take the ball away.
Did very well, didn't he?
From Paddy Lacey. And now it's Ryan Toulson to play the ball out to the left-hand side, where Ben Parker, still inside Guiseley's own half, gives it to Gavin Rothery. And Guiseley now passing the ball around patiently, but Barrow playing a very close, attentive midfield movement, and eventually force the Lions into the error. And Paddy Lacey comes away with the ball now. Johnny Gorman runs at the Guiseley defence. Toulson gets enough of a touch, and then Brooksby concedes the free kick against McWilliams, and a free kick to Barrow in quite a dangerous place. This about 10 yards out from the angle of the penalty area on the right-hand side. As Guiseley defend this Barrow attack.
No need to make the tackle there at all. But also Wayne Brooksby once again inattentive with the ball. It killed Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe was, looking for the pass that never came. He's then 15 yards out of position, and then they break quickly. And this is, with this wind, and their size, this is a particularly dangerous free kick position.
Ball whipped in, headed away by Danny Boschel. Only as far as Harvey. Harvey drives one through, goes through the defence, takes deflection, goes behind, and it's Barrow's first corner. And that finally brings the home crowd into life. And Barrow will take this from the right-hand side as they attack this Guiseley goal, bringing players forward now. 5 white shirts in the area. This one lofted in towards the penalty area. It's headed over. Jake Lawler, I think, got the touch, and in the end it's actually gone behind for a goal kick. And that's a relief to see.
It came off the back of Cook's head, didn't it?
Yeah, Andy Cook in the end getting the last touch. But like you say, you just wonder, don't you, when you do concede the free kicks in those dangerous places, for the bodies come forward and they look very
enormous,
threatening.
Aren't they? Huge up front. And with Boise and Danny Ellis not playing, obviously quite a lot of our size is gone.
The ball's played forward anyway from the goal kick and goes all the way back to Tony McMillan in the Barrow goal. There's a couple of scorelines to bring you. North Ferriby 0, Oxford City 1, and Solihull 1, Hyde 0 in the Vanarama Conference North.
So Oxford will finish up 8-7 then, won't it?
There's always a goal, isn't there? It's the gag that will run and run all season, that one.
Well, it's 63 goals now, isn't it? For and against.
Preposterous, isn't
it? 14 games, 15 games?
Yeah, 13. This is the 14th this afternoon. So much of the season's gone already. Stephen Drench has just come out to collect a ball bouncing back, and Barrow are claiming that he's gone outside of the area.
I think his feet were in and his hands were out.
No, his hands were in the area and his feet were out. It would have been out in touch if it was rugby. Guys, he can't get control of the ball. They do eventually on the halfway line with Danny Boschel. Nice interchange of passes with Andy Holdsworth. The ball's out here to Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe in the back line looking ahead of him. Barrow now taking a much more structured shape than they perhaps were a few moments ago. Very heavy challenge comes in here by
bad foul.
Alex Ray Harvey on Gavin Rothery. And
that's not clever at all.
Referee's going across and the player's down at the moment.
That's not clever at all, Colin.
It was late, wasn't it, Adie?
It's a snidey one, is that, isn't it?
I should suspect he'll go straight in the book for that.
Well, he's pouring blood from his leg as well, isn't it? Which is not good.
Yeah, it doesn't look that good. Martin Stringfellow comes on. Referee, Mr. Marsden, goes across to give the yellow card to Alex Ray Harvey. So the first booking of the day has been given. And free kick is Adie and I just decide who's going to make the notes on the team sheet that we've got.
Yes, the team sheet. Times are hard.
Oh no, I've been very generous actually.
No, yeah, very nice people here actually.
And happily, it looks like Gavin Rothery is going to be okay.
We've seen those be straight reds, by the way.
It was very late, wasn't it? It was
very late.
The ball had gone,
yeah,
and it was from the side, the tackle.
By the time he hit him, the ball must have been 5 yards away. And quite premeditated as well.
The home crowd are feeling that Gavin Rothery might have milked it, and he's just exchanging pleasantries, shall we say. A little smile on his face as he got up. Perhaps it's okay. Guiseley now have a free kick, which Ben Parker will take about 10 yards inside the Barrow half. 4 players up on the edge of the 18-yard box to aim for, one of which is Jake Lawler. And the delivery actually has gone behind Jake Lawler and out for a goal kick. A little disappointing end to that
free kick opportunity. Was awful. Free kick was awful. It was half. It was neither one thing or the other. It was half paced, and therefore and it was wasn't flat enough on the wind either.
0-0 if you're just joining us. Lions have had the best of the early chances. Forced goalkeeper Tony McMillan to a couple of saves, and at the moment are on the ball with Jake Lawler inside their own half.
Barrow are now pressing better, aren't they?
They are, aren't they? They're closing down. They're holding better shape than they were in that spell when we were creating opportunities. Ball still inside Guiseley's half, not able to find a way forward. Ryan Toulson bounces the ball in the air and then eventually sends it long towards Ollie Johnson. Easy to cut out, but Guiseley win the second phase here. Gavin Rothery having a good start, bright start to this game. Gives it to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby skips the ball through to Nicky Boschel. Back here with Andy Holdsworth now. Still
Andy
inside.
Holdsworth's been very influential so far, hasn't he? He's been just picking up and giving a simple little pass all the time.
Still inside the Barrow half, and now there's a ball that's won back here by Lacey. Lacey sends it long, and there's a swift counter-attack here, which Jason Walker leads down the right flank, gives the ball back here to Gorman. Gorman crosses with the left foot towards the edge of the penalty area. It's cleared by Guiseley up towards Ollie Johnson. Johnson goes to ground, claiming the free kick. And in the end, the ball bounces off Wayne Brooksby and out for a Barrow throw.
Nicky Boschel has absolutely got to do better. His first touch there was, 5 yards off his body?
Barrow throw. And it's Burns to take, midway through the Guiseley half on the right-hand side. Picked up well here by Walker. Now Gorman, who's dispossessed well by Ben Parker. Parker gives it square to Danny Boschel. And Boschel looks ahead of him and plays the ball out to the right-hand side where Ryan Toulson...
You want to thank him for that one, will he?
Has a lot of work, doesn't he, to keep that one in play. He does so, but eventually guys here are in a bit of difficulty inside their own half, trying to hold on to possession, but do brilliantly, and it's out hard to Wayne Brooksby, who does well to control with his head and keep it in touch. Cuts in field now. Guys, you have 3 players forward, but Brooksby's on the backward motion. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Danny Boschel threads one through towards Ollie Johnson, who plays a lovely ball in here to Wayne Brooksby, and Brooksby was into the penalty area. Super tackle comes in to deny him from Andrew Burns. Guiseley in the corner, but Brooksby just had a sight of the goal for a moment until Burns produced a brilliant challenge to deny him.
Yeah, he just had a sort of instant to get a shot away, didn't he, and decided on the extra touch, which in fairness improved the angle. Great defending from them, but once again, great ball from Ollie Johnson for Wayne there, showing very considerable vision, I thought.
Corner now to Guiseley on this left-hand side again as they press to make the breakthrough. Still scoreless here. The ball whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody on the end of it. Gavin Rothery picks it up 30 yards from goal. Plays it left to Danny Boschel. Boschel out towards Wayne Brooksby, but they've got their lines mixed up and it's gone behind for a throw-in, I think, down there just by the corner flag.
Thoughtful, inventive football, though. You know, occasionally you will overpass, but at least today we're looking for the ball. There seems to be an appetite to look for the ball as well.
And it's a Guiseley throw from the resulting Barrow throw, which the home fans aren't happy with, and Jason Walker feels it came off Ben Parker last, but Guiseley still have possession here. From
our view, that was very much a Guiseley throw, I thought.
No question about it. Gavin Rothery gives it to Jake Lawler.
And it was, because the linesman said so.
We never disagree with the officials, Adie, do we?
I love officials.
Ollie Johnson now on the ball for the Lions. Gives the ball infield here to Gavin Rothery. On the edge of the day, tries to thread it in towards Ollie Johnson on the return ball. And, you know, you said earlier on, Adie, about maybe they're expecting something different up front from Guiseley today. It's all been on the deck. It's all been about Ollie Johnson. It's all been about running with the ball.
Yep. The thing is, at any level, I don't care whether we're in the Champions League or we're, on the park on a Sunday, nobody as a defender likes somebody running at you with the ball. They just don't like it. And I have to say, so far, we've been good at it.
Brooksby now on the ball for Guiseley. Inside his own half, square to Andy Holdsworth. If you're just joining us, it's still scoreless. We're not being deliberately biased. Guiseley have had a very bright start, having a lot of time on the ball, in possession of the football, and have created the better chances in this game. We've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities to break the deadlock. And now Gavin Rothery inside the centre circle, spins, sends it towards Ollie Johnson, just beyond him, and Andy McWilliams comes across and, as we know so well, cuts that one out and plays it back to the goalkeeper. Picked up here by Toulson. And then Danny Boschel sends it back to Stephen Drench. Lots of goals going on the Vanarama Conference North, which when we get a moment we'll update you with. At the moment, though, Ollie Johnson's on the ball again, looking very bright early doors, trying to play a reverse pass that he hoped Nicky Boschel or Gavin Rothery might have been looking for. Neither were, in truth, and Barrow come away with the ball now with Johnny Gorman. Sends a long ball forward, looking to set Isaac Reed on his way down the left flank. Back now to McWilliams. McWilliams looks to cross this one, does a great delivery in towards Cook. Cook can't control Guiseley clear. Good battling defending, and in the end it's a loose ball from, I think it was low into the feet of Toulson, and it's gone out for a Barrow throw, just about level with the penalty area inside the Guiseley half. Played infield towards Walker. Walker chests down, gives it to McWilliams. Nice return pass. And eventually the ball that's played into the area is beyond Reed and into the hands of Stephen Drench.
We've been good so far at denying them the ball, actually. We've had probably the majority of possession, but what you saw there, which is that essentially they get the ball and then almost straight away a cross will come in. That's just the way they're going to play. It's an Edmo team, isn't it? And we've got to just deny them that crossing opportunity. Very encouraging start, though.
Very bright start indeed. And it's still scoreless, but Guiseley have had the better of the opportunities, had 2 or 3 chances to take the lead, and but for some last-ditch defending and great goalkeeping, could have been a goal to the good. Stephen Drench has the ball from the long clearance from the goalkeeper. Let's just go down some of those scorelines. Harrogate 1, Stockport 0. Bradford Park Avenue 1, Tamworth 1. Brackley 1, Colwyn Bay 1. Boston 0, Fylde 1. And Chorley have now scored 2 quick-fire goals to give them a 2-goal lead at Gainsborough Trinity. So plenty of goals in the Vanarama Conference North. None here at the moment in this big game between Barrow in 2nd and Guiseley, who were in 6th this afternoon. And we're hoping that Guiseley can build on that very bright early start where they've had 2 or 3 good chances. Now as they come forward with Gavin Rothery into the feet of Nicky Boschel. Finds Ollie Johnson. He's on the edge of the D. Tries to thread the ball back towards Nicky Boschel, but it's too short and easily cut out. And now Barrow come away with it. Harvey plays a long one forward up towards Walker. Good header by Walker to send it out towards Cook, but well intercepted by Jake Lawler. Guys who get it up to the halfway line. Nicky Boschel. A poor crossfield ball. Gives the possession back to Barrow and Johnny Gorman. And Paddy Lacey tidies things up and sends it back to Tony McMillan. But a disappointing delivery there from Nicky Boschel.
Extremely irritating because Wayne Brooksby worked in very good space. And in fact, the ball only needed to be in front of him and he had acres to run at, didn't he? But no, very poor.
The ball out towards Jake Lawler. And goes behind for a throw-in, and it's in fact a Barrow throw. On the left-hand side, McWilliams will take. He's got plenty to aim for in the area. He takes it short, gives it to Harvey. Harvey crosses into the area, headed away by Lowe, only as far as Harvey again, and in the end he can't control, and Stephen Drench is swiftly out to claim the ball.
That summed up the difficulty in clearing your lines though against the wind because it's simply there was no you can't get any pace on the ball, can you?
Well, Wayne Brooksby's just won a free kick against Andrew Burns.
I can't imagine that they're complaining about that because his shirt must have been nearly a foot off his body.
It was a ball out to Brooksby. He chested it down, didn't he? And then Burns seemed to clearly hold him back as Brooksby wanted to get the return ball.
And continued to hold him back indeed.
Free kick was given anyway. Guiseley have possession with Danny Lowe. Lowe square here to Jake Lawler. Lawler out to the right-hand side where Toulson sends it forward. It's cut out easily by Harvey. Now Barrow come forward over the halfway line with McWilliams. Good tackle comes in from Ryan Toulson. And then Barrow have the ball on the halfway line now as they seek to patiently build up this play and perhaps cause Guiseley one or two questions that they haven't done in these early stages of this game. Still 0-0 here on Guiseley AFC radio. They've had the better of the early chances. They all came in a spell between sort of 5 and 10 minutes. But since then it's been much more of a stalemate. Now Barrow coming forward here with a long ball forward, aimed at Cook, headed away by Lawler, but they come still down this left-hand side.
They're winning more second ball now, Barrow as well, whereas it was all us on the second ball early on.
Gorman, loose touch, gives the ball away to Danny Boschel, up towards Ollie Johnson on the halfway line on his own.
Well done, Ollie Johnson.
Does well, holds on to it, gives it to Gavin Rothery, seeks a return pass. Rothery's got three around him.
Too much.
He's eventually dispossessed, and it's easy for Gorman to take away.
In fairness to Gavin Rothery there, Ollie didn't give him an angle, did he? He was aiming at Ollie's back. It was never going to get a pass away.
Barrow now with the ball on the halfway line. Paddy Lacey exchanging passes with Simon Grand as they look to patiently build up once again as Barrow just beginning to impose themselves a little more. The ball to the right hand side here with Andrew Burns in field to Lacey. Lacey again just keeps the ball ticking over. Guiseley now having to adopt a tighter shape now as they press forward. It's a good one towards the edge of the D. Laid out to the right-hand side here. Burns has two to aim for if he can deliver as Barrow press the ball into the area. Cut out well by Danny Lowe. But Barrow will win the second phase.
No nonsense there, was it? But I have to say that the lad was allowed to take it too far without a challenge.
Again, the Bluebirds press on the halfway line here. Danny Livesey gives it to Lacey, and they're just looking to deliver the killer ball forward. Headed away, only as far as Harvey. Harvey's cut out well by Ryan Toulson. And in the end, the referee is not earning himself any favours from the home fans, has given the free kick to Guiseley.
No view at all of what happened there.
But it looked like a coming together between Harvey and Toulson on the edge of the 18-yard box.
He does have previous as Mr. Ray Harvey, doesn't he?
He's on a yellow card, actually, Alex Ray Harvey, who's if you haven't already heard, he produced quite a late challenge on Gavin Rothery, which certainly incensed the Lions, but the free kick resulted in a yellow card and no further damage actually to Gavin Rothery, who's happily walking through it and performing very well this afternoon so far. A couple of other scorelines from the Vanarama Conference North. Now it's Chorley 3, Gainsborough 0, Leamington 2, Worcester 0, and North Ferriby 1, Oxford City 1.
Game's gone flat from our point of view, hasn't it, slightly? We've not been so attentive with the ball over the last few minutes.
Guys with possession, but it's nodded back to goalkeeper Tony McMillan.
They've also dropped their back four back about 10 yards just so we can't run in behind.
They've certainly adjusted to the threat that we had in that spell.
Well, they've tried to cut the space between the keeper and the forwards, which they've done quite well so far. Sort of compressed the space quite impressively.
Now there's a snapshot and a chance as guys who don't clear their lines. Jake Lawler, but he went to clear the ball. He just swiped at it, missed it completely. It gave Andy Cook a chance to have a snapshot at goal. It was no more than a half chance, and it's gone high and wide and behind. But I think the word inattentive again will be used by you, Adie, because he just didn't do what he needed to do there.
I mean, Drenchy, in fairness, was unconcerned, wasn't he? But the reality was, the way the wind is, you cannot let the ball bounce in your box, and you have to just get your foot through it, simply put.
0-0 here at the Furnace Building Society Stadium here in Barrow, where the Bluebirds and the Lions.
Well, let's go all biblical.
I don't know if we can do that, actually. I think we should stop there.
The parable of the Lions and the Bluebirds.
I'm glad he meant it in that sense, Adie. It's a throw into Barrow before we completely lose the thread here inside the Guiseley half. And Barrow pressing a little more in this game and again come forward down the left flank.
Getting on top, in truth.
The tackle comes in to take it away from Isaac Reed, but again Barrow pick it up, spray the ball into the area, cut out well by Danny Lowe. Header on again, it puts the ball into the penalty area. This time Ryan Tilson will just watch that one out for a goal kick.
We've not had a move of any note over the halfway line for 5 minutes now, have we?
Yeah, and it's certainly becoming more of an exercise in Barrow possession and Guiseley defending. But that said, you can't think of other than that Andy Cook snapshot, a real moment of opportunity for Barrow, whereas we have hit the crossbar. We've had the goalkeeper force into 2 good saves and last-ditch tackles denying great goal-scoring opportunities for Guiseley early on in this game. But the way the game is swinging at the moment, it is Barrow who press forward, and Stephen Drench manages to clear up to the halfway line now, and Andy Holdsworth nods on towards Nicky Boschel, but again, Andy McWilliams is there ahead of Boschel. Brooksby inside the centre circle. Gives it to Holdsworth.
Well tidied up by Andy there.
No time on the ball at all. He had to work very hard, didn't he, to get it away from Jason Walker. Yeah,
it's now very much become that situation, as you say, that you've got to win the right to have time on the ball, haven't you? And they're certainly pressing the ball far more than they were early on.
The ball forward from Tilson up towards Gavin Rothery. So a good tackle comes in on him from Livesey. And actually, in the end, the decision is that Gavin Rothery got the last touch, and it'll be a Barrow throw in their own left-back position. Surely 4-0 up against Gainsborough now.
How odd.
Yeah, we're going great guns there. And Oxford City 3-1 to the good against North Ferriby. Of course, we make the trip to Gainsborough in a couple of weeks' time. Next up at Solihull Moors at home. No, sorry. Who are we home at next week?
Lowestoft.
Lowestoft, that's it. For some reason, I get those 2 fixtures mixed up. The ball's here now with Barrow as they come forward again. Gorman down the right flank, goes towards the touchline. Under pressure from Danny Lowe. And Danny Lowe does well to get a touch on the ball and get it played off against the Barrow man and a Guiseley throw.
Danny Lowe showed all his experience there. Very calm, very sort of, and got the throw in as well, which is tremendous from in the position we're in.
So throw in left back position for Guiseley. We're in no hurry to take this one. Still scoreless here. 33 minutes gone. If you're just joining us, Guiseley have had a great early start to this game. Some real opportunities to take the lead. Haven't taken them though, and now Barrow have grown, as you might expect, dominating possession in the last few minutes, even though it it took a rather incisive pass from Isaac Reid to take it away from Guiseley and look to win and rob possession in the centre circle there.
He got lucky there, Isaac Reid, didn't he? Because just, a yard less on that, and that would have been us clean through.
At the moment, we are restricting them to long balls forward and hoping to hit the ball over the top and create something. And we've frustrated Barrow.
Been very impressed by Ollie Johnson's contribution so far. Gavin Rothery looks at it as well today.
Boschel just feeding the ball forward down the right-hand side, looking for Wayne Brooksby to get on the end of, and again it's too far ahead of him. And again, guys, he just the momentum of those early passages of play is lost. Barrow will build once again down this left flank. McWilliams with a ball forward that he looks to get onto the end of. He can't do it. It's out for touch for a goal kick.
I don't think either Wayne Brooksby or Nicky Bosch have touched the ball in the last 5 minutes.
Be mixed feelings, I'm sure, for Mark at half-time, as it approaches half-time, and we've still got 10 minutes or so to go. But this first passage of play, because we did start so brightly, we had those great chances, we did look really at it.
First 15, I thought we looked tremendous. I mean, since then it has become more even. But then, I mean, before we all sort of get grumpy about it, you have to say that Barrow are a good side. I mean, you can see why they are what they are. They're very hard working. They clearly have a game plan, and by the way, they've been able to adjust to suit our style. So, credit to them.
Perhaps now they might look to go one further here with a ball in from Gorman, looking towards Cook again to get on the end of it. Reid does collect on the left-hand side of the penalty area. He's bodies to aim for if he can shake off the attentions of Holdsworth. His cross in is cut out by Tilson. Reid wins back the ball on the edge of the penalty area the second time round. Ball here with Harvey out to the left flank again. McWilliams returns it, and Barrow still in possession of the ball. Guiseley holding good shape and preventing the Bluebirds from making further headway, but a lovely little bit of invention there. Almost sets it through, but Jake Lawler watched that so coolly and so collectedly. He intercepted a back flick towards the edge of the 18-yard box, and Guiseley clear the lines with Stephen Drench thumping it towards the halfway line. Danny Boschel gets a touch on the ball, and Ben Parker, Danny Lowe just look to hold on to the ball and frustrate the home side a little longer.
We're just having a bit of a breather, aren't we?
0-0 here. Now Ollie Johnson with a touch which he hasn't seen too much of in the last 5 minutes or so of the game. He gets a great return ball from Wayne Brooksby, goes chasing towards the touchline, forces Danny Livesey into the challenge, and Guiseley win the corner, and that was super work there from Ollie Johnson and Wayne Brooksby. And Guiseley have a corner.
I mean, sometimes you can criticise Ollie for his work rate, but I have to say so far his work rate's been excellent, and also he's shown considerable physical strength on a couple of occasions as well, because both centre-halves are very competent and very strong.
Corner again to Guiseley on this left-hand side. The ball whipped in towards the 6-yard box, headed away. Gavin Rothery will have to win this one. He does. He lofts it high in the air. Ollie Johnson and Nicky Bosch will try to get under it. Neither can. It's headed away, but Danny Bosch wins a second phase. His pass is intercepted, but he does win the ball back on the halfway line. Square here to Gavin Rothery. Rothery's looking for options. Barrow have defended this very well, actually, in truth, and Guiseley forced to go back to their own penalty area. Stephen Drench out of the area. Lofts it long.
Like today, Colin, also, is Gavin Rothery's played with his head up. He's looked for the pass. Whereas I think in the last couple of games, maybe he's been a little bit head down, but he's been looking for the pass all the time.
Danny Boschel just has to intercept a ball on the ground that's aimed at Jason Walker. Ben Parker's now played a little deft pass towards Wayne Brooksby. Had a bit of heart-in-mouth moment there because it looked like he might have gone a bit short, and then Wayne Brooksby goes to ground, and a bit of a late challenge here from Paddy Lacey, who immediately gets the yellow card from the referee. In truth, that one I thought was less clear-cut than the earlier one from Alex Ray Harvey, but a second yellow card. Second yellow card in the first 45 minutes for Barrow.
This doesn't look too good, actually.
Wayne Brooksby's down on the ground. Doesn't look good, does he?
Yeah. I was just going to say also, I think what's been better about us today is that Danny Boschel's been more composed on the ball today. He has been struggling with his Achilles, and also with he had that bug that's been going around. But I think today he's looked more at it.
Certainly looked like he's on the road to recovery, if that's the case. I mean, certainly played a lot of football throughout those problems, hasn't he?
Yes, I mean, I think people were criticising Danny, but really, there was a couple of games when, in truth, had we had a ready-made alternative, he wouldn't have played. But because Stocky was injured as well, we've had to just get on with it, basically.
Well, Matt Stringfellow's still out there with Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby looks like he's going to get back to his feet. Looks a little ginger on his haunches as he gets up. And immediately, I think it's Danny Forrest over the other side is warming up. And Wayne Brooksby is certainly walking off a little uncomfortably, much to the derision of the home fans.
Well, I mean, derision or not, he's left his studs behind, hasn't he? And, it's a sort of one that, frankly, he's known just what he's doing.
Free kick will be to Guiseley, about level with the centre circle inside their own half. And Brooksby's moving a little easier as he goes towards the touchline. Hopefully he'll be okay to return, but I think it's Danny Forrest over the other side. My eyes might not be.
It is Danny Forrest, yeah.
He's still going through his warm-up just in case. Guiseley are down to 10 for a second. They play the free kick out towards Ben Parker. Parker won't get to the end of that.
See how that hung in the wind then?
It's cut out and gone out for a Guiseley throw, but you're right, it was intended to be a ball zipped out to the left-hand side, and it just hung up there and was able to be intercepted. Now, Rothery intercepts, gets the ball to Jake Lawler. Brooksby's back on the field and running quite comfortably up to the chest of Nicky Boschel. Boschel gives the ball away, actually, and now is a chance for Guiseley to Barrow to counter-attack, and Andy Holdsworth tackles Jason Walker. It's a bit of a nondescript coming together, and Holdsworth is furious. Actually, the decision's gone against him. Walker milks the free kick and will certainly.
I think I don't blame Walker for doing it, because frankly, if the referee, buys it, the referee buys it.
But it's a dangerous one again for Guiseley to defend. They've got everybody behind the ball here. It's a level with the centre circle, but it'll go long from Burns in towards the penalty area. Taken down, Barrow still in possession on the edge of the 18-yard box. Guiseley working hard. Picked up here by Harvey. Can't clear the lines, the Lions, and the ball played back in, eventually headed away by Jake Lawler as McWilliams presses up towards the centre circle. Ollie Johnson touches it down towards Ryan Toulson. But Toulson's ball is beyond Ollie Johnson, but he doesn't give up the chase.
I mean, he's worked tremendously hard there, Ollie, hasn't he? He's had to cover a lot of yardage, and he's got to throw in, whereas we could have been, facing a Barrow attack. So impressive work rate from Ollie. And Ollie also is struggling with his Achilles, so he's doing very well.
Guys, get the ball into the penalty area from Ollie Johnson's hard work. A shot comes in from Gavin Rothery. It's blocked well before it gets towards the goal, and eventually cleared up towards the halfway line. Now Barrow come forward in numbers as they look to get beyond the halfway line. Wayne Brooksby in the centre circle gets a foot in, concedes a free kick. And it just looks to be a little bit of tension building up there, because he and I think it was Lacey who went in for the challenge. So it looked as if there might have been the potential for a little bit of afters there. But it's all cooled down. And Barrow have the free kick.
Yes, I mean, I thought, yes, it's a free kick. Wayne didn't need to get involved either, by the way. Just no point, just handbags, really.
Grand with the free kick up towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed away by Lawler only as far as a shot that comes in, and it's only as far as actually Jonathan Gorman. He took a drive from the edge of the 18-yard box, and it looked from this angle as if it might have just gone inside the bottom right-hand corner of the goal. It went behind, and it's actually a goal kick to Guiseley, but that was perhaps the clearest cut chance that Barrow have had this half.
Yeah, and Drench's reaction suggests that he wasn't confident it was going wide either. So no, that's the best chance they've created so far.
So Guiseley with the goal kick. A few other goals coming in through the Vanarama Conference North as we approach the last 3 minutes of this half. We'll come to those in a minute, because Barrow again on the attack here with Jason Walker. Cut out well by Ben Parker, as Adie rightly points out. And then the ball is headed back to Tony McMillan just before the break. Bradford Park Avenue have gone 3-1 down now against Tamworth at home. So Tamworth continue their revival under new management. Andy Morrell, of course, got that valuable point from their perspective against Guiseley at Nethermore a few weeks ago in his first game in charge. Stephen Drench has now just lost the ball inside his own penalty area. He's given it away, and it's certainly going to be a goal here, surely. And then, incredibly, absolutely incredibly, Andy Cook misses his kick, kicks the ball away from himself. Stephen Drench miskicked it, and Andy Cook seemed to return the favour. And it should have been a certain goal to Barrow. Stephen Drench's blushes have been saved and spared. Andy Cook, unbelievably, with the goal at his mercy, miscued, missed the ball entirely. Guiseley clear, but only at the expense of the corner. The danger hasn't passed yet, but a remarkable passage of play.
How bizarre.
The corner to come in now from Barrow on this right-hand side. The danger not passed. Whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed in, and it's gone in, and it's forced over by Andy Cook. He had no time at all to dwell on the miss previously. The cross comes in. He headed it goal bound. Stephen Drench pushed it away at the first instance. The ball fell back to Cook over the line, and rather frustratingly, it's Barrow 1, Guiseley 0.
First time they've managed to get a clean crossing, and in fairness, decent header, and they were first the bits and pieces. But it's in a sense, it's a real sickener because I don't think they've deserved to be in front, if I'm honest.
No, you cannot say that's a deserved lead. Absolutely.
No.
Neutral or biased or however you are on this, that's not a deserved lead. Guiseley should have taken the chances early on in this game.
And Drench's previous error has caused that effectively.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it followed a remarkable moment there when Stephen Drench actually just missed the ball as he went to clear. I can only presume it's the wind down there causing problems, because Andy Cook had the goal at his mercy when he got the ball from Drench, and then incredibly it was skewed. He missed the effort, missed the ball entirely, and Guiseley cleared, but only at the expense of a corner, and it was a corner that was headed home by Andy Cook, and the Lions find themselves a goal down here. And it's a rather despondent me and Adie here who head towards a break.
Absolute signal.
Absolutely. It's typical of coming here, isn't it?
Yes, but I mean, having said that, they have been building up a slight head of steam, but they certainly don't deserve to be in front.
No. 1-0 to Barrow as we head towards a break. 2 minutes of added time. Cook with the goal that separates the two sides and gives Barrow a 1-goal advantage. Guys, you have a throw just on the edge of the centre circle, and it will be Ryan Tilson to take. Can the Lions just snatch something for the break?
It's important to get to half time without any further difficulty, I think, and then we clear his heads.
Danny Boschel gives it to Ben Parker. Parker inside the Barrow half, gives it back to Danny Boschel. Andy Holdsworth gives it to Danny Lowe. Lowe distributes the ball out to the right-hand side. Headed back in field by Ryan Tilson. Headed up in the air now by Harvey. Nobody able to get on the end of the ball. And in the end, guys, you have a free kick. Not quite sure what that's for. And, well, Barrow were protesting. It was not a...
He made a back for him, didn't he, classically?
Not right. Just looked down there for a second. Couldn't quite see.
Made no effort to get off the ground and let the forward go over him, essentially.
Well, guys, you have a free kick. I mean, it's far too far out to be called a shooting opportunity. It's sort of midway between the edge of the D and the centre circle, very central in field.
Barrow are quite fractious, aren't they?
Very frustrated at the moment. But, guys, you have this last chance, perhaps before the break, to perhaps force a final opportunity in this half. We've had plenty in the early stages. The ball will be played in here by Nicky Boschel. Plays it down. It's a poor free kick in the end. I think he was actually aiming for goal. And it was far too far from goal for that ever to be a realistic opportunity, and it's behind for a goal kick.
I mean, that was just brainless, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Especially as it's effectively against the wind.
Crazy. Half time about to come. A couple of goals to tell you about. Fylde 1, Boston 1 now. That's at Boston. And Stalybridge 0, Hensford 1. 1-0 to Barrow here. And just as I say that, Boston have actually taken the lead against Fylde, so Barrow's afternoon gets even better. The break is here, though. The referee has blown for half-time. It's been a frustrating 45 minutes after Guiseley came out of the trap so well. They created chance after chance, forced goalkeeper Tony McMillan into two fine saves. Brilliant work from Ollie Johnson. He set through Wayne Brooksby. A couple of last-ditch tackles denied the Lions from getting the early lead, and then as the game wore on, Barrow grew more and more into it, but still frustrated, weren't able to create a clear-cut chance. And then a bizarre moment just before the break, Stephen Drench completely missed kicking, gave the ball to Andy Cook. Andy Cook with the goal at his mercy, tried to blast the ball home and actually missed the ball entirely. Nonetheless, from the resulting scrapped to get the ball away. Barrow earned a corner, and that corner led to Andy Cook heading home the goal that gives Barrow the lead. Half-time here on Guiseley AFC Radio. It's Barrow 1, Guiseley 0. What's your final thoughts on that first half then, Adie?
I thought the performance actually for the first certainly half hour was very encouraging, and then the catalogue of errors around the goal is just irritating. But I also thought that they worked out our shape and our intent well as the half went on, and perhaps were just certainly shading the game, I think, before they scored. But certainly there's enough there to suggest some encouragement in the second half, I think.
Yeah, it's been far from a complete write-off this first half. Absolutely not. Guiseley have fought very well and should indeed have got the goal themselves earlier on in the game. But they do find themselves a goal behind at the break. Just quickly go down these Vanarama Conference North scores that we have. Boston United 2, AFC Fylde 1, Brackley 1, Colwyn Bay 1, Bradford Park Avenue 1, listen to this, Adie, Tamworth 4, Gainsborough 0, Chorley 4, Harrogate Town 1, Stockport County 0. Harrogate opening up their new stand this afternoon, the new terracing.
It'll be full of Stockport fans.
Yeah, it will be. 1-0 to Harrogate Town this afternoon there at Wetherby Road. Leamington 2, Worcester City 1, Lowestoft 0, Gloucester City 0, North Ferriby United 1, Oxford City 3, Solihull Moors 1, Hyde United 0, and Stalybridge Celtic 0, Hensford Town 1. We'll be going off there for 10 minutes or so hopefully you'll join us again in 10 minutes where I hope we can bring you some better news from the second 45. Half-time here, Barrow 1, Guiseley 0. Well, welcome back here to the Furnace Building Society Stadium here in Barrow, where the Lions trail at half-time by a 1-0. A goal right on the stroke of the break with Andy Cook bundling the ball over the line after an incredible moment a few seconds prior to that, where Stephen Drench had both missed the ball completely in his clearance, given it to Andy Cook, and he'd missed the ball completely again when he had the goal at his mercy, and the resulting corner led to Andy Cook scoring the goal anyway, so he didn't have time to settle on his miss and dwell on the opportunity spurned. And at the break, the Lions going a goal down. Thanks for your tweets as well at half-time, George McPherson. Absolutely right. How did that goal go in at half-time? Well, we won't know, but thanks for keeping us up to speed. The two sides are back out now. Adie and I have had our refreshments, had a chance to sort of kick the wall with frustration, and we're back underway for the second period with Guiseley in all yellow shooting from left to right now from where we are, in a very, very disappointing time to concede a goal, Adie, but hope we can make an early response.
And I think that's the irritation is that, in fairness, I thought at Ferriby with the 4-4 draw there, I thought we played, despite the 4-4, I thought we played quite poorly. At Grimsby last week, by Mark's own admission, I didn't think we played well. And I think this is the best we've played for some weeks, and it's massively disappointing to concede in that manner, really. Well,
Barrow have a free kick early in this half, a sending off, and a offside decision rather, and free kick to Barrow. So we just shuffle ourselves around here. Tony McMillan sends it long towards Cook, the goal scorer. It's hoisted clear up to the halfway line where Ollie Johnson goes looking for it. Headed away by Andy Holdsworth. Up in the air now by Paddy Lacey. Gavin Rothery battling in with Lacey trying to win it. Lacey does well and gets the header above Rothery. But a good interception from Danny Boschel. Gives it to Nicky Boschel, and a ball into Ollie Johnson, who's got 3 or 4 players around him. He sends it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery's got 2 ahead of him. So he goes back to Ben Parker. Parker now skips past one, surges forward on that left foot, gives the ball out towards Rothery, but it's a little bit short. Rothery's tackled by Burns. Looks like he's clipped himself in the process. The ball's cleared to the halfway line. Jake Lawler intercepts and then just dinks the ball over towards Ollie Johnson, just a bit beyond him, and out for a throw-in for Barrow in their own right-back position.
The wind is really proving quite difficult to fathom, isn't it? Because I thought it was to their advantage first half, but so far it just seems to be swirling all over the place this half. I must say Gavin Rothery's been bright today.
Barrow have won the ball on the halfway line, and now here's a chance for Isaac Reid. He's just skipped it past Ryan Tulson. He's got 2 ahead of him, but the overlapping run of McWilliams is continuing. McWilliams into the penalty area, takes the ball back here to Reid. Good shot from Reid, blocked brilliantly by Jake Lawler. And it's going to go all the way out for a Barrow throw, about level with the 6-yard box on the right-hand side. But that was a really dangerous moment.
Heck of a break, yeah. He's very, very clever there, Reid, wasn't he?
McWilliams with a superb forward run down that left flank. So we've witnessed so often. Guiseley now having to defend. This throw's taken a while to take. Isaac Reid gets the ball from the throw from Burns. And then Burns is going to have another chance to throw the ball in on that right-hand side. Cuts in field, crosses it towards the edge of the 18-yard box, headed away up towards Ollie Johnson, under pressure there from Livesey. And then the snapshot comes in, and a superb save after a absolutely super shot there from Jason Walker. It was about level with the corner of the penalty area on the left-hand side. He drove that with such venom. Stephen Drench had to be at full stretch to force that one behind for a Barrow corner.
Terrific save from Drenchy there, but I have to say we were careless, weren't we? Gave the ball away in a really bad place again.
Corner now for Barrow on the right-hand side as they look to continue where they left off. With a corner at the start of the second half. The corner just before the break led to the goal. They're just playing with exchanging the balls this time, complaining that one was flat. Johnny Gorman now will take this one from the right-hand side. And it goes short, but it's cut out by Danny Boschel. It's going to be another corner. The pressure continues. And another one to be delivered from that same angle. It's whipped in again towards the edge of the 6-yard box, flicked on by Livesey. beyond everyone else and behind for a goal kick, but
well,
again...
Well defended in fairness, Colin, for all the oohs and ahs. I thought we looked fairly solid there.
It was a little flick on from Livesey, the centre half, and nobody was on the end of it to tap it home with that back post. So, as you say, Adie, perhaps well defended, well watched, and the ball behind for a goal kick.
Plenty of bodies in the way as well.
So good afternoon for Barrow as it stands. Boston United 3, Fylde 1. Barrow will be top of the table if things stay as they are. Hopefully, from our perspective, we can change things in this game. Williams sends it forward down from left back into the hands of Walker. He certainly looked to maybe controlled that with the arm, but there was nothing given. Walker sprays the ball out to the other angle, and on the right-hand side, Burns is looking for it. It's chipped into the area up towards the back post, and somehow Walker was free, but he was offside anyway, and it's gone behind for a goal kick. Or was that flag up? No, it wasn't.
No, it was a goal kick.
So Walker, if he'd got on the end of that, would have put that in the back of the neck. Sorry, you're absolutely right. I saw the flag. I saw the flag, and I thought it was an offside, but it was actually for the goal kick.
I don't know how we got there, in truth, but as I said, and there was no protest from our defenders either.
So he'd absolutely ghosted in from the back post, and Barrow starting off where they left the first half, aren't they? They've looked very bright and very dangerous.
It's a scruffy start from us as well. We don't look to have really come out.
The ball's forward from Williams again up towards Walker. And that superb drive just a few moments ago. Stephen Drench with an outstanding save to deny him.
Hell of a stop that, wasn't it?
Plays a long one forward, looking for Nicky Boschel. Tony McMillan off his line to claim at the edge of the 18-yard box. Barrow 1, Guiseley 0 here on Guiseley AFC radio. With the Lions' bright start, creating all sorts of problems for the Bluebirds. Guiseley had 3 or 4 chances to take the lead. They didn't take them though. Barrow have taken theirs. Andy Cook just before the break, giving the home side the lead. Isaac Reed now battling for the ball on the left-hand side, wins a throw-in for Barrow. And they're spending much of this half encamped in the Guiseley half, in the Guiseley final third. Andy McWilliams now with the throw-in.
In the opening 5 minutes, I don't think it's been in their half, has it?
No, it doesn't feel like it, does it?
No.
Williams back here to Grand. The captain plays the ball forward, but it's headed away. Still the second phase, though, with Barrow. Isaac Reed again, who's started this second period very brightly. There's the ball back to Grand on the halfway line. His pass is intercepted, but as is the way of things at the moment, Barrow still retain possession. Win a throw. McWilliams will take. He looks for options ahead of him. Walker and Cook on the edge of the 18-yard box. Isaac Reed just having a little bit of a tussling match with Wayne Brooksby. Referee Mr. Marsden goes across to just calm things down. And we're back underway, and it's a scrappy sort of start to the second period.
We haven't started at all this half, have we?
Williams with a throw, flicked on by Isaac Reed. Up to the halfway line, Ollie Johnson goes chasing, but he'll never get there ahead of Livesey. His ball forward goes beyond.
Good call from Drenchy, obviously.
The Barrow line and back to Stephen Drench. And Guiseley now need to fathom a way back into the Barrow half and perhaps see if they can test the keeper here, as they did in the opening periods of the first half. A good ball here to Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth out to the right-hand side, gives it to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby and Holdsworth exchange passes, allows Ryan Tilson to get on the end of this. Down by the corner flag now on the right-hand side. Tilson into the area, up towards Ollie Johnson. Flicked away by Barrow. Guiseley can't win the second phase, and Grand takes over for the home side and sends it long for a chase that Andy Cook will keep up with. Danny Lowe gets there ahead of him. But the second phase again won by Grand on the halfway line. And his powerful header only goes as far as Ben Parker in this instance, and Guiseley can get hold of the ball, but they certainly seem to be playing against the wind here. Second half goals as well in the Vanarama Conference North. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Tamworth 4, and Gainsborough 1, Chorley 4. So goals for Avenue and Gainsborough as they look to come back against very heavy half-time scorelines. That would be some storyline if either of those could pull those games level. Here,
they're not playing Oxford though, so
no, that's true. here, where Guiseley trail by a goal to nil, and going tough in the second period against Barrow.
Barrow working very hard.
Barrow come forward again, looking for Walker. Walker battling hard to win the ball. In the end, Wayne Brooksby tries too many tricks. He actually clips Alex Ray Harvey, who goes down feeling his ankle. Free kicks given against Wayne Brooksby. And Alex Ray Harvey, I don't know quite what he did. I think he might have just been clipped his Achilles. He hobbled about a bit, but he seems fine. And it's a free kick to Barrow nonetheless.
Decent showmanship, though.
There's always a few displays for RADA, isn't there? And they field of play nowadays. And it's a free kick nonetheless for Barrow. About level with the centre circle. Delivered by Andy McWilliams towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Headed on straight into the hands of Stephen Drench. And guys, he can clear up towards Ollie Johnson. He's not going to get that. Good header from Livesey. Picked up now by Danny Boschel on the halfway line. Into the feet of Andy Holdsworth. Square here to Parker. Parker over the halfway line. Comes forward. Is tackled under the pressure from Gorman. Gorman with a heavy challenge on Gavin Rothery, and the free kick is given to Guiseley on the halfway line. And that's a much needed respite for the Lions. They can get hold of the ball now inside the centre circle. Out to the right hand side where Ryan Toulson gives it to Jake Lawler. Lawler looks to dink one over the top, sends it up towards Nicky Boschel. Boschel not really in the game in the second period, not able to win that one. And then I'm afraid Walker's won that free kick there against Jake Lawler inside the centre circle. The referee has given it, and he's called over Jake Lawler, and incredibly he's going to give him a booking. I have to say, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by that one, Adie. What's your views on it?
I mean, in fairness, I think Jake's known just what he's doing, and he's taking him down. But given that it's the first free kick he's conceded in the game, it does seem slightly odd.
It just looked to me that Walker knew he was on him, and then backed into him to make sure he won the free kick.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, indeed. But the referee's view suggests that Walker might be away.
So Lawler with a yellow card. That's not good news. Second goal for Harrogate, 2-0 up now against Stockport County. And we'll give you some scorelines from local teams in the league. Huddersfield 3-0 up against Nottingham Forest. This ball floated in now from Barrow into the penalty area. Taken away by Rothery. Cleared by Nicky Boschel. Up towards Ollie Johnson. Headed away by Barrow. And they can come away with Burns now down that right-hand side in towards Walker. He headers it powerfully infield, but nobody on the end of that. And guys, he tidy it up and give it back to Stephen Drench. Still a 0-0 down here at Barrow.
Andy Holdsworth's having one of his more influential games, isn't he?
He's having to work hard, isn't he, in midfield?
Yes.
Wayne Brooksby chases a slightly loose ball, but McWilliams is alive to that danger and gets a firm challenge in to clear. Guys, get the ball inside their own half. Boschel tries to thread one through and it's easily cut out.
You had the impression that the weather is starting to affect both teams because there's lots of sloppy passing, isn't there?
It's clearly much harder conditions than you can tell from in here. The ball's gone back. I'm not quite sure what the frustration is there from the home fans, but it's back with Stephen Drench.
I think they're suffering from 1-7 in a row itis. You know, fans just get spoiled, don't they?
Yes, they expect to be 4-0 up probably here. But guys, they have got a bit of a battle on their hands and they know it. And Williams is doing superbly well down that left-hand side from left back, surging forward again. Cut out well by Ryan Toulson, out for another Barrow throw. And Andy McWilliams again, a thorn driving forward there. Goes to collect the side. The home fans buoyant now.
It's time we made a substitution, I think.
Yes, indeed. And over on that far side, it looks like Nicky Boschel will be coming off, if I can read that board correctly from a distance. But the game hasn't stopped, and a ball played in there from Paddy Lacey is intercepted by Stephen Drench, and it's still in play here, so the substitution will wait. Nicky Boschel perhaps has a final chance to make some impression on this game. Gives the ball back to Danny Boschel. It's forward now towards Ben Parker. Nicky Boschel on the left-hand side now cuts it infield sensibly to Danny Boschel. The ball sprayed out to the right-hand side now for Ryan Toulson. Can Toulson deliver a good cross? He can. Towards the back post, up towards Gavin Rothery. It's over him, and just behind him, Nicky Boschel was lurking, but it gone behind him and out for a goal kick, and that will be his last action of the half. In fact, I'm reading it completely wrong. It's Ollie Johnson who is going to make way. And it's going to be Alex Johnson who will be coming on. So Alex Johnson making his first real competitive match of the season for Guiseley. He played midweek against Selby in the County Cup. Obviously a much different experience. In the end, actually, it's gone out for a corner. It's going to be a Guiseley corner from this left-hand side. It's whipped in. It's headed away by Grand. Only as far as corner kick taker Brooksby on the left flank. Cuts in field, tries to cross this one, sends it up towards the back post. It's flicked over the crossbar by a defender, and it's going to be another Guiseley corner. And all you can hear from us breaths of tension and nerves. Guiseley now with a corner on the right-hand side.
Seem to have cleared our heads a bit this last few minutes, don't we?
Ball whipped in towards the penalty spot, but this time Barrow defend well. Back only as far as Ryan Tilson. He lofts it into the air, in towards the penalty spot. AJ goes looking for Alex Johnson underneath the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper comes out and gets a firm punch on it, and now Barrow can counter-attack, but poor touch from Jason Walker. Can't keep control of the ball. Sorry, Johnny Gorman.
I'd forgotten how much I'd missed Alex Johnson backing into people.
Johnson now looking to get on the end of the ball that comes forward in the direction of Grand. Danny Boschel, square towards Andy Holdsworth, is not a great ball, and Barrow intercept and come forward now with Lacey into Byrne. Good tackle comes in from Ben Parker, but fortune favours Barrow, and the deflection bounces in the direction of Burns. And in the end, a couple of heavy challenges go in between Ben Parker and Andy Cook, and again players just trying to bubble over, but calm is resumed. I'm not quite sure if there's a throw into Barrow or to Guiseley or what really over there.
Has he given a free kick? If so, why?
I'm curious as to why there would be a free kick in that instance, but Barrow have indeed got a free kick, and level with the centre circle inside the Lions half, right outside, right by the touchline on the right hand side. And it's a chance. They've got 4 players forward up towards the edge of the D. It's floated in. It's a difficult one for Stephen Drench to watch under pressure. He claims well inside the 6-yard box. And Guiseley send it forward towards Alex Johnson. And again, it's headed out into touch.
Different option now with AJ, because AJ will just run directly at people.
The throw from Ben Parker, flicked on by Alex Johnson.
They've defended the second ball very well this half, haven't they? They've, every flick has gone straight to the Barrow centre halves or full-backs. We have cleared our heads this last few minutes, so we look a little bit more likely now, don't we?
Yeah, a little bit more possession, a little bit more attacking intent. Alex Johnson looks much more threatening up front, doesn't he? Physical presence in place of Ollie Johnson.
Ollie did well in fairness, but I think he probably had run his course.
Balls with Ryan Toulson. Yeah, it's a different kind of game now, isn't it? Yeah. It's a different dynamic to this match as we try to sort of muscle our way back into this more than play the ball on the decks. The ball in towards Wayne Brooksby, and Alex Johnson battling and trying to win the ball back. Can't get on the end of it this time. Barrow come away with it with Walker. Good tackle comes in from Toulson, yet the ball finds its way again to a white shirt, and Barrow come forward again with Lacey now surging forward into the penalty area. Takes a shot with the right foot. And this time it's wide and beyond and out for a goal kick.
Is this the oddest press box you've ever been in?
I think the knocking was from outside, Adie. I don't think it's
like a hillbilly convention. It's most peculiar. No, I wasn't saying you, no. the young lady next to me thought I was getting at her, but I wasn't, no.
Adie's powers of diplomacy know no bounds.
There's another ground we've alienated. I can only apologise to the young lady next to me.
A phrase you've used many times before in your life,
I apologise, yes.
Press the button on that pre-record. Yeah. Let's just, for a meantime, just go through a couple of scores. Stalybridge 0, Hensford 2 now. North Ferriby 2, Oxford City 3. Again, another goal fest involving Oxford City. In the Championship, Cardiff 1, Leeds United 0. Guys, you're just having to tidy up as they pass the ball back to Stephen Drench. Under great pressure here, Ryan Tilson and Drench.
Well done, Tully.
Exchange passes because they were being pressed very heavily by Alex Ray Harvey.
You see AJ then goes right underneath the centre half, which the centre half's furious because he finds himself it was like the free kick we got a while back. AJ's made a clever back there, and Grant could have hurt himself there.
Long clearance comes out. We've got another scoreline to give you in a minute, but at the moment, Guiseley on the ball with Nicky Boschel. Gives it to Gavin Rothery over the halfway line. Good ball to Danny Boschel on the left-hand side now. Guiseley with 2 or 3 in the area. It goes into the feet of Gavin Rothery, down towards the corner flag. Rothery's got 2 on him. Burns and Lacey earns the throw, though. And this is a chance for Guiseley to attack once again.
We've been busy this last few minutes, haven't we?
The ball's with Ben Parker. Let's go back to the halfway line now, and a flick forward from Lowe. Looks for Gavin Rothery to chase, but it's well shepherded back by Burns. And in the end, it's going to be a goal kick. But better movement.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of threat since AJ's come on, I think. And in fairness, Nicky Boschel's looked better as well. So,
Lowestoft 0, Gloucester City 1 was another scoreline in the division in the Vanarama Conference North. Solihull Moors 2, Hyde 0. And a third now for North Ferriby. North Ferriby 3, Oxford City 3. We've got one in the League One for Bradford City fans. It's 1 each now between those two. Doncaster and Bradford City. And Barrow are on the ball once again now with Gorman. Gorman dribbling, but unable to get past the Guiseley back line. The ball's up towards the halfway line. Alex Johnson battling for it. Good tackling coming in from Alex Ray Harvey, but Guiseley still come away with the ball. And good work there from Wayne Brooksby.
Much
the ball's
better.
played out here to Ryan Toulson on the right-hand side. Can Toulson get the cross in again? It's a good ball, but it's not quite got the direction. It's headed away. Toulson heads it back towards the penalty area. This time McWilliams will complete the challenge and complete the clearance, but only at the expense of a Guiseley throw-in.
We've started being first to the second ball this last few minutes.
Now Gavin Rothery gives the ball back to Toulson. Rothery, 10 yards inside the
Excellent.
Barrow half, spreads the ball out to the left-hand side, but Ben Parker doesn't control. Burns exploits it. The ball bounced into Parker's face, and Burns was onto it like a flash. He plays the ball in field to Lacey. Barrow come forward now. Nice little back flick comes in from Isaac Reed into the feet of Cook. Good tackle from Jake Lawler. Gavin Rothery comes away with the ball. Now Nicky Boschel on the halfway line on the right-hand side. Takes over. He's at few options. Goes square to Danny Boschel. Gives it to Gavin Rothery. Rothery, a poor ball in towards Andy Holdsworth, and it's intercepted, but Guiseley recover the ball. It's with Danny Boschel inside his own half. He gives it to Ryan Toulson. Toulson plays it up towards Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth,
great touch,
lays it off to Wayne Brooksby. Guiseley in possession of the ball, but struggling to make any headway into the final third here. Holdsworth into the feet of Gavin Rothery.
I don't think their keeper's made a save since the first 10 minutes, has he?
No. And in the end, the attack breaks down and Burns comes forward again. Gives a good ball out to the right-hand side where Jason Walker tries to lay it in field towards Andy Cook. Good interception comes in from Lowe, but it's at the expense of a throw. Was it a throw? Was it a corner? A throw, I think it was.
I thought, yes, but...
It's another opportunity for Barrow to press either way. Cardiff City 2, Leeds United 0 from the Championship. Who's in charge there now?
What, this week? No, I'm sure Redders will do a really good job there. I mean, he's, the impression is he should have been there all the way along.
I think that was really part of behind the decision. The ball's floated in now, and Barrow take that throw, and it's half a chance there for Andy Cook, and it's headed over for a goal kick.
I mean, Cardiff are no mugs either. They're on a decent run of form at the moment as well. So I don't suppose that'll have been particularly down on the win list.
No, I'm sure. Stephen Drench now with a goal kick. Still 1-0 to Barrow if you're just joining us. Sorry, Eddie, you're going to...
For all our improvement in this last few minutes, it's hard to see where any real threat's going to come from, though, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? And we're getting up to that final third on occasion, but...
And the game is a mess now, isn't it? Because of the conditions.
Yeah.
It's just how Ed Moore wanted it to scrap.
You struggle to see how guys can get past the conditions and the shape that Barrow holding.
I would also say that both their centre halves have looked very good as well.
There's a free kick just given to Barrow inside their own half. It looks like they're going to make a change.
So we also.
and Guiseley are as well. And is it Nicky Boschel this time who's finally coming off? As well, it's looks like Anthony Wilson who's going to be entering the fray for Barrow, and it will be coming on for Johnny Gorman, if I've read that right, while Nicky Boschel goes off for the Lions. Is that Danny Forrest over there, Adie?
I think it's Danny Forrest, yeah. It's so dim, isn't it?
Certainly didn't look like this afternoon's going to get any easier. Anthony Wilson, of course, played such a long time with North Ferriby last season as part of a team that looked like they were going to challenge potentially to go up automatically. And
he's a handful as well. He's been out injured for a long time, but he's a handful.
He makes his return for Barrow, and Guiseley have Danny Forrest on instead of Nicky Boschel. And immediately it's Wilson who's getting involved in things. Forced off the ball by Ben Parker in a rather physical contest there. Guiseley come away with it, but Isaac Reed intercepts and earns a free kick, and Andy Holdsworth is furious with that, as is Danny Boschel, because I'm afraid I'm not convinced by that decision either. A free kick to Barrow in rather dangerous position, central midway through the Guiseley half, in a place that gives them a chance to distribute the ball into the area and get some of their aerial prowess into play.
If there ever was a case of 2 6s, that was it, was it? I have to say, I thought the referee was decent first half, but this half has been odd.
Struggling with conditions, perhaps, as well.
Maybe, yeah.
Free kick that's dubious to say the least, but Guiseley have now got a big task on their hands. There's a 4-man wall, obviously from this distance with this wind. A good delivery can be very troublesome, and it is played into the area. It bounces inside the 6-yard box by Jason Walker and held by Stephen Drench, who had to watch that very cannily. The clearance.
Well, that's well done by Adie, though, because he's making the defenders think more than was happening before. His movement, considering it's his, really first game back, his movement's been excellent. Today's attendance 1,355.
It's a good crowd, isn't it, here for a big game between these two sides. The Lions are battling hard to try and get back into this game, but Barrow, has to be said, are on top. At the moment, look commandingly in control of this. It's only a 1-goal lead, though, at the moment, and as we know, they can be very slender. Alex Johnson inside his own half wins the ball back as the Lions look to press and perhaps see if they can make something happen. Even happy.
Alex Johnson did very well again there with the centre half up his back.
Ball now with Danny Forrest, his first touch of the ball as he surges down the left-hand side. He's won a throw for the Lions.
Almost said something else there, but
and
he's made a difference since he's come on, hasn't he?
His throw's taken, the cross comes in, it's up towards Alex Johnson. It hangs in the air so awkwardly with the wind, and it's in the end anticipated better by Tony McMillan, and the goalkeeper spreads the ball out towards Isaac Reed, who comes down the left-hand side, skips past Ryan Tulson, who makes a lunging challenge. Reed will get the ball in towards the back post. It's going to be a tough one. It's a good header for Lowe to take it away from Wilson, only as far as Jason Walker. His ball back in, finds Harvey. Harvey chips the ball up in the air, and it's again a battle for Guiseley in the air to try and defend this one before Harvey fires this one high and wide from the edge of the 18-yard box. But again, difficult, tough defending for the Lions. It was high in the air a couple of times. Wilson and Cook both.
It seemed to hang for an age, that one, didn't it? It's amazing how the conditions, as I say, beforehand were treacherous, but I think they've become more treacherous, if anything.
Ben Parker gives the ball to Rothery. Jake Lawler gives the ball likewise to Ryan Tulson inside the Guiseley half, and Ryan Tulson gives the ball to Anthony Wilson, who plays it through here to Cook, and Cook is through on goal with two defenders closing him down quickly, fortunately able to take it away, and then Cook is over enthusiastic in attempting to win the ball back, and Guiseley get a throw. But that was very, very poor play from Ryan Tulson, who holds his hand up in apology, but Anthony Wilson with a sharp pass almost sending Andy Cook clean through on goal. Good defensive work from the two centre halves to deny him.
Yes, I mean, because certainly the second goal is the killer, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't see any way back if they do get that second.
Oh, no.
And Alex Johnson having a bit of a battle here with Simon Grand. Grand reacts more and gets a free kick nonetheless. Alex Johnson isn't, like you say, he's a much more sort of combative player. Yes, that's the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hopefully he can upset them.
He would be a nightmare to play against because he's in your face all the time, and that's great. That's what you want out of a forward.
Free kick is taken though, and it's difficult for Guiseley to defend once again. And this time a free kick's been given against Barrow for a tug on Danny Lowe's shirt. Not quite sure who it was he was up against. I think it might have been Cook. And Guiseley will have the free kick as a scoreline in League One. Bradford 1, Doncaster 2 now. So Doncaster Rovers taking a 2-1 lead after being a goal down at the break.
City's home form's quite worrying at the moment, isn't it? Well, it doesn't worry me because they're not my club, but
yeah. From their perspective.
Yes.
Ball's up towards Alex Johnson. It's intercepted and cleared down the right-hand flank, but this is going to be easy for Danny Lowe to deal with, and intelligently gets the ball back to Stephen Drench, even though Anthony Wilson was blocking his way.
Massively improved the angle between them there, didn't they? I just can't see that we're the way they're set up now, we're having to make half a dozen passes to get over the halfway line with any real intent, and it's quite difficult.
There's no long ball option either, is there, because of the wind? Guiseley now have given poor touch, and another poor touch there from Guiseley.
You sense that the wind really is affecting this now, because that was an awful ball from us and then an awful ball from them as well.
Yeah. Very, very scrappy affair. Guiseley just unable to get into that final third with any real intent, and at the moment have the ball inside their own half. It feels a bit like we're playing uphill.
Yes.
North Ferriby 4, Oxford City 3. 3-1 up were Oxford City. North Ferriby 4, Oxford City 3. So the old joke about Oxford scoring and conceding just continues. 7 goals this afternoon in that game. Danny Forrest now on the ball for the Lions. Gives the ball to Ben Parker, and it goes back to the halfway line, and you're just waiting for the possession to be conceded because it's so difficult for them to make any headway. Parker steps forward, gives the ball out here to Forrest. Forrest down by the touchline. Can he get a cross in? No, he's closed down very quickly by Burns. Free kick is actually given, and surprised at that, but it's a good opportunity now for Guiseley. It's in from the corner flag by about 5 yards. It's an opportunity to sort of cross the ball in here.
I mean, we're far too far away to comment on that, but it looked soft, didn't it? Having said that, we had a perfectly good opportunity to cross it anyway, so I'm not sure it's done any favour stopping the game, really.
So free kick to Guiseley. Wayne Brooksby on the left-hand side as they attack the goal, right down the touchline, 5 yards in from the corner flag towards the goal. He will distribute this straight at the defender into the corner, perhaps earning a more favourable angle to cross this, almost too close to the penalty area to get a meaningful cross in. Corner to Guiseley now on the left-hand side. The ball whipped in by Wayne Brooksby in towards the 6-yard box. Awkward header away from the Barrow defender, but there was nobody really meaningfully attacking the ball as it went into that part of the goal area. And in the end, it's cleared all the way back to Stephen Drench. Andy Holdsworth sends it up towards the centre circle, where Burns watches it and wins the header.
Again, we've started to pick up second ball in the middle of the park again. Just
for a spell now. Guiseley now turn it in field here to Ben Parker, and Guiseley coming forward in a few numbers. But a poor ball there from Gavin Rothery. He's just given it straight to Anthony Wilson. Wilson sends it forward towards Cook. Wilson takes the return ball. Cook and Wilson are 2-on-2 with the defenders. Wilson holds on to it too long. Guiseley get a foot in, but they still come forward, Barrow. Isaac Green now down the left-hand side, down towards the touchline. He's got McWilliams behind him. If he can give it to him, he will cross. McWilliams does so, up towards the back post. Good header, blocked on the line by Stephen Drench. It looked like a certain goal there from Andy Cook. His header, goal-bound, blocked right on the line by the feet of Stephen Drench. And now they come away here with Alex Johnson. Can Guiseley get back into this?
Time stood still there, didn't it?
Oh. And all from a poor ball from Gavin Rothery in the other penalty area, in the other half. Now Wayne Brooksby comes charging forward down the left-hand side. Guiseley come forward now with a bit of attacking intent. Brooksby down towards the touchline, gets the cross, and it's headed away by Grand. And Walker lays it back to Burns, and the opportunity passes again. Header by Lowe. Keeps things ticking over for Guiseley. Long one forward from Ben Parker, up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson's onside. He's in 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper comes out, clatters him. It was good defensive work from the goalkeeper, but Johnson just got the benefit of the flight of the ball for once, and it was seemed to hang up in the air and give him a chance to go into the path of the goal. But good goalkeeping from Tony McMillan, swiftly out of his area, firmly clattered.
I bet his heart was in his
Johnson.
mouth, by the way, because he's caught him, hasn't he? I don't think it was a pen, by the way, but I think he's caught him.
It could have gone anywhere. Anything could have happened in that instance, couldn't it? But in the end, it worked out to the favour of Barrow, and they managed to clear the lines. It was just the half chance that Guiseley needed.
But
a
you
bit
can
of a
see
break.
the threat from Alex, can't you?
Oh yeah, and he'll get better, won't he, as he gets sharper. Guiseley now having
Tremendous
to
defending.
defend excellently with Danny Lowe. He's under pressure from Anthony Wilson, who looks very sharp himself as he's returning to fitness here. Guiseley now coming away with the ball.
Game's very stretched now, isn't it?
A point would be a wonderful thing to get from this particular stage of the game. Guiseley trailing by a goal to nil. Andy Holdsworth's just been robbed by Isaac Reid. Great tackle from Ryan Tilson. Throw in for Barrow, though, just inside the Guiseley half. And the home fans just urge a team on. They can just sense that the Lions have just had a bit more of the ball.
Yeah, and in fact, I think probably this last 10 minutes, we've possibly been just about on top, except for in fairness, he probably should have put the game to bed with that header.
Yeah. I mean, it was a super cross from McWilliams. Firm header from Cook. That's easily dealt with. Well, not easily, well blocked by Stephen Drench on the goal line. Jake Lawler gets the ball up to the halfway line, up towards Alex Johnson, headed away. Guiseley get possession of the football again on the halfway line. Good exchange of passes. Finds Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby has a run at the back line. He's surrounded by three. Threads the ball into Danny Forrest. Gets the ball back. Gives it to Alex Johnson on the angle of the penalty area on the left-hand side. Ball into the area. And as a player goes down in the penalty area, I think it was Danny Forrest under pressure. He claims for a penalty. Referee not interested whatsoever. It was a half claim really from Danny Forrest, but it certainly was pressure on him as he went to collect the ball. And Anthony Wilson now takes over for Barrow on the halfway line. McWilliams gives it to Wilson. And Isaac Reid actually will get the free kick because Ryan Tilson's attempt to claim the ball off Anthony Wilson has been deemed too enthusiastic. And we will have another substitute for the home side. And it's now Cowperthwaite, I think, who's coming on for Andy Cook, who receives the rapturous applause. Scored a goal just on the stroke of half-time to give Barrow this one-goal advantage in this game, after actually spurning a great opportunity just seconds earlier. As by my reckoning, we are 36 minutes into this second half, so with 9 minutes remaining, we have just 9 minutes to get something out of this game. So the second substitution for Barrow, Niall Cowperthwaite on for Andy Cook, and Johnny Gorman has made way previously for Anthony Wilson. So they've used two, and we've used two. And at the moment, Barrow have a throw inside the Guiseley half. And it's a throw that is in no hurry to be taken by Burns, and he strolls across to take this throw about level with the 18-yard box on the right-hand side. Looks for options, holds it up. Home side getting behind their team. I think as it stands, they'll be top of the league this evening if this scoreline stays the same. This is taking an age. What's going on here, referee? Get this game back underway. Is he still writing down the substitutes? I've been talking about this throw-in for about 5 minutes, it seems. Eventually, it's taken away and picked up by
so lucky
Alex Johnson on the halfway line, as Guiseley managed to clear, but the ball's sent back in towards Anthony Wilson, who turns well, physically strong, and goes in for a challenge and concedes a free kick against Andy Holdsworth. But Guiseley continue because the referee gives the advantage and sharply move downfield with Gavin Rothery. Now Danny Boschel threads it in towards Alex Johnson. Alex Johnson's bundled over and Guiseley win the free kick. And that's what Alex Johnson brings. He gets close to the defender, invites the challenge, and Guiseley have a free kick on the edge of the D.
He's a nightmare for that because as a defender you can't get off him. He's touch tight on you all the time. There's a decent chance this actually. Decent position.
Free kick central. It's 2 yards out from the edge of the D. You see Darren Edmondson is not happy, is he, with the decision there? But guys, they have a...
It's a foul, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, if you're going to be mad with your centre half.
Free kick is central. It's about 2 yards outside of the D.
Andy Holdsworth for me, this would be, but...
Danny Boschel... There's a range of players. Danny Boschel and Andy Holdsworth standing over. Boschel will take it, blast it towards the goal, and it's just past the right upright and
Good
behind.
strike.
It was a decent strike, wasn't it? He just couldn't get the curl on the delivery to keep it inside of the upright. It's behind for a goal kick. Still 1-0 Barrow.
6 minutes, Colin?
Yeah, 6 minutes left. You feel that was the chance that we needed to take, actually.
For me, H is always on those because he gets it up and down better than anybody else. I mean, Danny's got a good clean strike on him, but for me, Andy Holdsworth's the man in that position.
Well, Andy Holdsworth, he did so well, didn't he? That time with Park Avenue, and I know we've gone on about it, but John Lamb, he couldn't get down to either corners as
He
well.
gets it up and down really well. He's got good technique.
It was brilliant free kicks that day, and it was from similar territory. Stephen Drench has the ball at his feet, sends it in towards the centre circle, headed back by Barrow, and they pick it up here with Reid. Reid is tackled, but the ball falls kindly here for Harvey. Harvey chases and is brought down by Danny Lowe. Danny Lowe will probably go in the book here. And it was a lunging challenge as Alex Ray Harvey was charging forward.
That's his fourth of the season as well, so getting alarming close to a suspension now.
We're a bit short in centre halves, aren't we? So
yeah.
That isn't a good sign, but now it's a free kick, almost identical position to the one that Guiseley had a couple of moments earlier, and this is a dangerous position again for the Lions to defend against. And Barrow stand over this, ready to shoot towards Stephen Drench's goal, and they face a wall of it must be about 8 Guiseley players. There's only one on the halfway line. It's Alex Johnson. We're all in the penalty area to defend this, and irrepressible wall. Reid takes it, he's overhit it, and it's gone behind for a goal kick.
That was awful from them. Terrible free kick.
Yeah,
but you said that was a very big wall, wasn't it? So
it's like that.
Third substitution for them.
Yes, and it's going to be James Ellison who'll come on for Isaac Reid. So Isaac Reid's last efforts of the afternoon is that surging run that won the free kick. And Guiseley have one still that they can make. But as we enter the last 5 minutes, still 1-0 to Barrow here. It's a couple of other scorelines to bring you in the Championships. Cardiff 3 leads 1. Stalybridge 0, Hensford 4. Lowestoft 0, Gloucester City 3. And Harrogate Town 2, Stockport County 1. Free kick for Stephen Drench. Harrogate Town seem to have turned the corner, don't they, all of a sudden?
Yeah, I mean, they've a massive squad, and inevitably, eventually they'll come good, won't they?
Thumped Brackley by 5 goals, and now we're leading 2-1 against Stockport County, who've been in great form themselves since we beat them.
Yeah, they've had a bit of a stutter this last couple of weeks, but yeah, since we beat them, they've been in excellent form. Yeah.
Guiseley still struggling to try and get back into this game. Depleted Guiseley, of course. No Adam Boyes, no Danny Ellis. Of course, we're still missing Danny Hall. Alex Johnson just returning to fitness. Barrow have a very strong squad. The Lions have fought hard, had chances in the very opening 10 minutes of this game to have gone 1, maybe 2 up, but couldn't take them. And then on the stroke of half-time, Andy Cook scored after spurning a gilt-edged opportunity seconds earlier, but he scored from the resulting corner. And Guiseley forcing the ball away now as Barrow press, and it's with Wayne Brooksby on the halfway line.
Excellent football.
The ball played forward by Andy Holdsworth, headed away, but Guiseley win the second face. Boschel, poor ball, gives it straight to the substitute James Ellison. Ellison up towards the other substitute, Anthony Wilson, who's some yards from goal, will take a shot. It bounces kindly towards a Barrow attacker in Jason Walker, and it takes a deflection and goes behind for a corner kick to the home side, who is getting all the rub of the green and also some of the benefits of rather loose passing and loose delivery on occasions by Guiseley this afternoon.
Yes, I mean, I think that's been the thing really, that particularly since that first 20 minutes, we've we fall into that loose ball in the middle malaise rather. But having said that, it's been a spirited performance.
Corner though to Barrow in the final minute of this 90. It's distributed towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Stephen Drench off his line, gets a palm on it. It's still in play though in the side the penalty area, played back in and cleared eventually, I think, by Andy Holdsworth. It's Lacey again who plays the ball forward for Barrow, up towards the right flank now for the home side to once again put the ball into the area. It's picked up here by Grand, who's forward for the corner, had stayed up for the resulting attacking move, the centre half.
I think there's only the referee there. I didn't think that wasn't a foul on Drench, if I'm honest.
Now Guiseley can counter-attack, but they're not able to get the bodies forward as quickly as Barrow can get the bodies back, and Alex Johnson is crowded out.
Last minute of normal time.
Cowperthwaite deals with that and sends it forward towards Anthony Wilson. Headed on, Wilson has conceded a free kick. Actually, it's Jason Walker who's conceded a free kick. And Guiseley perhaps can launch this one long. So we just wait to see what will be added on. The free kick is taken and it's picked up here by Jake Lawler. Surely a free kick by McWilliams for the tackle on Brooksby is given. Home fans aren't so happy. The last 4 minutes will be 4 minutes of added time. This is the sort of chance the guys you need to take. I mean, it is some distance from goal. It is almost up in the centre circle. Just need to get the bodies forward and see what can happen. And it's a real stick it in the mixer and hope scenario.
Because if you concede another by way of overcommitting, well, hey ho.
The ball floated in there up towards the edge of the 6-yard box, not cleared yet. Forrest can't get it down. Free kick's given against him for some imperceptible reason.
He's given that because he's got the first one wrong.
Yeah. Free kick to Barrow, disappointing end to that particular move. And as we're into stoppage time,
I think he was influenced by the Barrow player posse there as well, wasn't he?
Free kick is the end result nonetheless. Leamington 2, Worcester 2, Stalybridge 0, Hensford 5. So a very bad afternoon there for Stalybridge Celtic.
It's not going well for Briggsy at Stalybridge.
Free kick taken, sent long. Barrow are unable to get on the end of it. Good header from Danny Lowe, but it's a throw in anyway for the home side inside Guiseley's territory, which they're in no hurry to take. Burns will trundle across to take 1-0 deep into stoppage time. Another afternoon of frustration for Mark Bauer and his team on the cards here as Barrow skip past a brilliant piece of work here down the right hand side, gets the ball into the area. It's cleared eventually by Guys, I'm not quite sure. I think it was Walker who produced the trickery to get into the penalty area. And then the ball's won by Brooksby, but the free kick always likely to be given. It was Alex Johnson, I think, who'd won it, but Lacey was down to the ground and won the free kick. And actually it was Brooksby, and Brooksby's going to go in the book now. It's one of those afternoons and the game's lost even before the game's finished, actually. It's finished here, North Ferriby 4, Oxford City 3. It's still 1-0, and it will finish 1-0, possibly 2, because Barrow have a free kick, but it's a frustrating afternoon for Guiseley. A spirited performance. They could have taken the lead. They were undone by a sucker punch just before half-time. And conditions, injuries, and generally, as Adie described it to me at half-time, the gods of football are kind of against us at the moment. Barrow...
It's noticeable, isn't it? You know, as we said, that just in fairness to nothing's fallen for us today, has it?
Guiseley can't win the ball back at the moment, although they have possession now with Jake Lawler. He's under pressure from Wilson. Good work from Danny Boschel, but Wilson's chasing him all over the park. Danny Lowe sends it forward up towards Danny Forrest. Forrest is bundled over. Guiseley get the free kick. Cheap one for Barrow to concede so late on, just inside their own half though, level with the centre circle. Stephen Drench is going to come out and take this inside the Barrow half.
Both teams have conceded some silly free kicks in this last few minutes, haven't they?
This is last chance saloon for sure for Guiseley.
This is 47 seconds left on my watch.
Everybody forward except for Ryan Tilson. Stephen Drench will take the free kick, distributes it in. It doesn't hit the right territory at all, and Barrow will just counter-attack now. That's just so disappointing. Forrest works hard to get back and win possession for the Lions. He sends it back into Barrow's half, headed away, and eventually cleared into Guiseley's territory, which Stephen Drench has to chase to take, but surely that will be it. The referee will blow the final whistle very shortly, and it's forward from Stephen Drench once more up towards Alex Johnson. Can't get on the end of it. Home fans just blowing whistles. Anthony Wilson trying to win the ball back for them on the halfway line. Guys, he send it one last time forward. It's all the way back now with Stephen Drench. He sends it long one last time up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson is beaten to the header by Grand. Headed on now by Danny Boschel. Under pressure, he plays the ball straight into a Barrow foot. But good interception from Jake Lawler. And Danny Lowe sends the ball forward. Barrow cheer. The final whistle goes. Guiseley have been undone by a goal on the stroke of half-time from Andy Cook, despite having 3 or 4 chances themselves in the first half to take the lead. The Lions weren't able to capitalise. Andy Cook scored after a momentous miss just seconds earlier from a corner, and the Lions have struggled in the second half to make any headway into Barrow territory, and in truth Barrow might have had the second on a couple of occasions. A good header from Andy Cook in the second half forced Stephen Drench into a marvellous save. It's finished here, Barrow 1, Guiseley 0. Adie, a disappointing result, disappointing end to this afternoon. But all credit to Guiseley, haven't they? All credit to the spirit.
I as you know, I criticise often, but I think today, they did put a genuine 100% performance in for Mark. The defeat is unfortunate, although in fairness, you can see why Barrow are up there. And I just thought that our slightly depleted numbers showed a little bit, but I think lots of positives out of the performance, and Barrow certainly know they've been in the game.
Yeah, that's certainly the case. It's been a very tense affair, I think, for both sides. Neither the conditions nor certainly the conditions nor the scoreline and the game really allowed either to settle and be confident of the outcome of this match, even when Barrow for long spells had a lot of the ball and looked like guys who were struggling to get in that final third. You always felt there was an opportunity, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's interesting, if you look at the Barrow player reaction, they look like they've won the FA Cup. They know they've been in a game today. And I'm disappointed for the travelling fans, I'm disappointed for Mark, but I have to say there are lots and lots of positives after that, not least the fact that AJ's back and looks okay. I thought Ben Parker had a good game, and also thought that if you look at what's to come back in, hopefully by next weekend, then onwards and upwards.
So let's just give you the final scores from the Conference North as we have them. It's finished here, Barrow 1, Guiseley 0. It means Barrow are back on top of the Vanarama Conference North. Boston United 3, Fylde 1, it finished. Brackley 1, Colwyn Bay 1, still going on there in that game. Bradford Park Avenue 2, Tamworth 4. Gainsborough Trinity 3, Chorley 4. So Gainsborough with a valiant effort to try and get back into that game, but just coming up short. Harrogate Town 2, Stockport County 1, still going on at Wetherby Road. Leamington 2, Worcester City 2, Lowestoft 0, Gloucester City 3, North Ferriby 4, Oxford City 3, Solihull Moors 3, Hyde 0, and Stalybridge 0, Hensford 5. And this evening that means, and we'll see where we are. I think we have slipped to 8th place. I'm just going to get that league table, if I can, up on the screen here in front of me. It means Barrow, of course, are going to be back in the top of the table, but it's actually not coming up with the live standings for this division as I was hoping for. But it does mean that Barrow return to the top of the table. Guiseley actually return or fall back to 8th place, and so it's a disappointing end to the afternoon for us here in terms of score, but a great performance nonetheless. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'm Robertson on. Thank you very much for listening. We hope you'll join us again next time. We're back at home, so get yourself down to Wetherby Road, to Nethermore for the game between ourselves and Lowestoft on Saturday. Thanks for listening, and we will see you again.